This is a story about you and me and many others. It's a story about these times of chaos, turmoil, of opportunity and transformation. It's a story with a happy ending and a story full of great challenges. It's a story about today and every day. About 2 years ago, I was recovering from an activist burnout, and I started writing a book about everything I'd learned in the past years. And I wanted to talk firstly about climate and climate science and how media and politics were not giving us a good image of what was really going on. And as I went deeper, I noticed that there was a conflict between climate and environment in many ways. And as I went deeper, I realized that the core of the problem was not that which I had been protesting for. I realized there was a core of the problem that was still not really being addressed. And two of the big parts of that problem that I saw, though it is more complex, were overconsumption and side effects. The side effects of all kinds of things in society, whether that's in the pharmaceutical world or in the fossil fuels or in the electrical power minerals, and the batteries and all the mining that we do for that, whatever it is, all over the place, there are side effects to the way that we live. And those side effects are starting to destroy society, are starting to destroy the way that we manage to live on this planet. What I concluded after trying to write that book was that society is in a state of collapse. And that's not easy, is it? I think you can see it around you. But it isn't nice to notice. It isn't really okay. And yet it is by first acknowledging what is happening that we can start working on something better, that we can start building something new, that we can see that as many old systems are collapsing, that it's time we start building new systems, that it's time we start thinking differently and doing things in a way that we know is better, but that we never did because the old structures made it difficult and it was comfortable in many ways. You see, what I found in the past years is that this time was predicted by peoples around the world. They predicted this time of chaos, of turmoil, of natural disaster, earthquakes, floods, a time when humans would be killing so many animals and burning forests, cutting down forests. And that's the bad news. We're right in the middle of that. But there's good news that is often forgotten in the story. But it is in these stories of many indigenous peoples across the world. And even in the great religions, they talk about what comes after. And what comes after is the rise of a new human. What comes after is a new dawn where the plants start to grow again, where the earth becomes green again, where humans manage to evolve and transform themselves and be in support of all life on earth instead of taking from all life on earth. And that time, many indigenous leaders and messengers are saying is right now. That generation of humans is you and me. And it's up to us to take that step. It is up to us to step into the process of becoming a new human. And it isn't easy. It really isn't. But we kind of have to. There's not much other options. You can stay in a collapsing civilization and just go along and wait what the politicians will say and wait when someone else will come with a solution, or you can start working now. You can start working on yourself. You can start working on your community, on how do you get food? Where does your food come from? What creates water security for you? How do you have a roof over your head? And what decides, who decides whether you do or not? Can you grow your own food, perhaps? Can you work together with others to find ways to do things locally? I mean, it's whatever you think is necessary for a new world, whatever you think is necessary, as we see that old systems are no longer functioning and are simply not sustainable. They simply cannot be sustained. They cannot be continued. So we have to figure out, how are we going to live? How are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to do things in a way that doesn't destroy the planet or the lives of people far away? And we can. We really can. And there are so many new initiatives, new projects, new ideas, the new science that is showing us so much about our body and about the way reality works and how we can become stronger and smarter, how we can use the power of our breath, the power of our heart and the brain in the heart to activate our own potential. And that is what we can do. That is what we must do, in my opinion. And that is what is coming. And I am really excited for the future. You see, because yes, lots of old systems are dying, are no longer working, but we can create a new way of life. And we will create a new way of life, and we will find new ways to live in a more harmonic relationship with all the other creatures on this planet. And that's a future that I'm excited for, and that's a future that I want to build. And we have to build it together if we want to get there. It's up to you. It's up to all of us to take that step, to make that choice, to start aligning with that future instead of trying to fix a little bit here and fix a little bit there on something that you know isn't actually working. Right? So what we can do is just decide that we want to live in a different world, that we want to live in a beautiful world where humans can be in harmony with nature, with each other. And so long as we know that that's the world we built, that changes our behavior. And that helps us to influence others. And if we do that, we can change the world together, one step at a time. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.